sounding critical the first rattle out of the box. But if we're going to make a difference in your life, I have to tell you the truth as I see it. As the old saying goes, you can BS your friends and I'll BS mine, but let's not BS each other. What you're about to read is my view of how most people live. When I say live, I mean their personal, private experience of life, not the image they project. No one will know if I'm right about you, but you. I'm not asking you to substitute my judgment for your own, but I am asking you to weigh what I have to say very, very carefully. I'm also asking that you be totally honest with yourself, even if it is scary to admit certain things about yourself in your life. Remember, you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Here's how I see it. If your life is like that of most people in this world, and in fact like mine used to be, you may be, whether you know it or not, smooth out of control. It may not look that way to other people, but so much for appearances. We don't care about what others want for you right now. Our focus has to be totally on what you want. There'll be plenty of time to balance it all later. Like the duck that looks so smooth and graceful as it glides across the glassy pond, you're doing okay at a surface level. But think about what that same duck is doing below the waterline. It's kicking and reaching in chaotic contrast to its seemingly effortless surface appearance. Such is life. Such is your life. Just for the sake of argument, fantasize with me for a moment. I wonder what you might choose for yourself if all of a sudden you could just rewrite the script of your life from as early as you might want right up until now. If you hadn't been pulled into the suckhole of life with all of its messages, traps of responsibilities and expectancies, if you hadn't inherited the status quo, if you weren't born into a certain family and station in life and weren't buried so deep that you seemed to have no choices, what would you choose? What would you choose if you weren't financially strapped, for example, living paycheck to paycheck, or didn't have so many people depending on you? If you weren't chronically overweight and tired, how would you live differently? If instead of being trapped, you had the opportunity to shape your life around who you really are and what really defines you and matters to you, what would your life be like? What if you question what difference it really makes which car you drive, where you live, how much money you earn, or why it matters whether some person likes or doesn't like you? Given a second chance, would you change things? Or would you decide that the familiar was safer and you'd just stick with what you had? Would you grab the second chance, or would you choke at the last minute, afraid to venture into something new? Would you settle for what you have because you fear that there is nothing else out there for you? You're about to find out that these are not just hypothetical questions. You're about to discover that you have a whole lot more choice about what happens in your life than you could ever imagine.